Greetings, Cap fans, and welcome to episode 297 of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast. I am Rick Verbanis, and I'm your host. I've got a co host. His name, you know what it is. It's Bob Lucius. Oh, Bob, what the bleep is DC anyway? They have Batman and Superman, and they don't know what to do with them. That's like being a porn star with the biggest bleep, and you can't bleep.
I don't know who that is, Rick. I don't know who you're associating with. Where does that? Where is the provenance for that quote?
That is Marvel editor in chief Joe Quesada back in
Uh,
April of 2002 when he was being asked if there will be a new Marvel DC crossover.
okay, all
And
right,
that was his response.
okay. Wow, he didn't hold back, did he?
No, he really didn't.
Yeah,
I did. I used the bleep.
yeah. I appreciate that. My
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
my virginal ears appreciated that. So thank
Mm,
you.
yeah. But why am I giving you a Joe Quesada quote?
Well, we are doing a crossover tonight.
Yeah.
A brief one, a more current one. But I'm not sure why Joe was involved. Is he
So,
involved?
no, we're just talking about Marvel and DC crossover.
Okay.
So, you probably noticed, like, there was a whole bunch of them in the mid to late '90s,
Yeah.
and not just Marvel and DC, but there was with Image and Ultraverse, and
Yeah.
like, there was a
Sure.
lot of them,
Yeah.
and so what had not happened by that time was the JLA Avengers crossover.
Uh huh.
And that was something that had been in the works since early 80s.
Yeah.
And but lawyers get involved and things like that. So
Uh huh.
um when joe joe his theory was that it was better when Marvel and DC hated each other because a hostile corporate rivalry uh, really pushes both of them,
Mm.
for to make better product. And so that was the I guess the impetus behind the the really strong negativity to
Interesting.
doing crossover.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I buy that, but I do get the sentiment. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh, interesting.
And it's funny at the time, Dan Didio, who was the DC co-publisher, and he said, "quote You're talking to the one person that stopped every Marvel and DC crossover. When you're in competition with other places, you have to take pride in your own work. Crossing over means you're pretty much admitting defeat. You're admitting that sales are down. What do you do after the big moment?"
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So those were the people who were in charge of Marvel and DC at the time,
Yeah.
and they had strong opinions.
They sure did. They sure did. Huh. Well, thanks for sharing that little bit of comic history with us, Rick.
Absolutely. I got a little bit more. We'll get to that in a minute. But
Okay.
Bob, how you doing?
Well, Rick, I think we have to address the elephant in the room.
Hmm.
And I think on behalf of obviously myself and all of our viewers,
Mm-hmm.
we want to know, are
Yes.
you on the run from the law?
No, why?
You look different somehow. I can't put my finger on it. It might have been the
uh,
glasses.
uh-huh, uh-huh. Um, oh yes. No, well, you've seen me with readers before. Um, and I've had my new glasses in recent
Are
weeks.
those new earbuds?
No,
Maybe that's it.
no,
No?
no,
Okay.
it's not it.
Yeah.
Um, well, if you remember when we were kids and there was that you go into the toy aisle of the store and
Yeah.
hanging on the pegs for all those little cheap toys, and one of them was the magnet, and then you had the little black specks, and you had a guy with the bald head, and you'd shake it and you try to make hair or a beard, and you moved stuff around with a little wand. Do you remember that?
Okay, I don't, but yeah, I think I do actually. Now that you mention it, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's coming back to
So
me.
I'm the guy who lost all the magnet hair.
All right,
Yeah,
okay, all
yeah.
right. So you're not on the run.
No, 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 no,
Okay, well that's good.
no.
That's a relief.
I shaved off my goatee,
Yeah,
which for people who are watching this on YouTube or on Spotify, this might be coming a little bit as a shock because we are closing in on 300 episodes, and
yeah,
this will be the first one I've done without the facial hair.
yeah. I like it though, Rick. I like it.
Do
You look
you?
young and fresh.
Hmm.
Like, if I wasn't very, you know, I
Heterosexual male.
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Like,
Man, I put a big smooch right on those
oh,
fleshy, smooth cheeks right there,
I
Rick.
will tell you, my wife, she does appreciate.
Does she?
She's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. All
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I get it because my
mhm.
wife knows on the weekends if I shave, it's sexy time.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah,
All right.
PG show, folks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we'll keep that in mind. Um, should we get back to JLA Avengers?
Why not? Yeah, that's we're heading into Dr. Ruth territory here.
Yeah.
So, right.
So, mm, I will say, I'm a big George Perez fan. Um, Loved his, gosh, he might have been one of the first artists that when I was reading comics, like I noticed who the artist was.
Uh huh.
Him, uh, Mike Zeck, John Byrne, like these are the early guys. I was like, oh, I could recognize that art, and I love that art. I
Yeah.
would pick up a comic because that art is in it. And George Perez was one of those. God rest his soul. But and he had a birthday. It would have been a birthday, I guess, a few weeks ago.
Right.
But he had drawn the Avengers um, different times in his career.
Yeah.
He had drawn the Justice League at different times in his career,
Sure.
and he is famous, obviously, for the 1985 Crisis on Infinite Earths, where he drew everybody in the DC universe. And then he went on to draw everybody in the Marvel universe for Infinity Gauntlet, at least the beginning of that miniseries.
Sure.
Um, and so he was the logical answer for putting together a JLA Avengers crossover back in 1983.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you go to, gosh, what's the website? Go to thegeorgeperez.com, and you can go underneath interviews and then click on My JLA Avengers. And he essentially has a little bit of a history there. And he was talking to Mike Cotton about, and this was, I guess, right when he finished drawing and inking JLA Avengers #3, and that is the 2008
Mm-hmm.
or 2004 edition. Anyway, that one, right?
Yeah.
And but before that, he had penciled. I want to say it was something like 21 pages of a story back in 1983 that was written by Jerry Conway.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, he's penciling away this story, but then Jim Shooter, who was the editor in chief at Marvel at the time, got the story and was like, "No, I don't like this at all." They needed to restart it. I think Roy Thomas got involved. Anyway, eventually they just were like, "Nope, we're not doing this." And then there's these 21 pages of unpublished JLA Avengers that he had done. And um, so then fast forward 20 years later, and Marvel and DC finally said, "Yeah, all right, let's go ahead and do this," even though Joe Quesada a couple of years
Mm-hmm.
before
Mm-hmm.
had made that comment.
Sure. Yeah. Wow, that's quite a background. I'll definitely have to check out the georgeperez.com website and check those out.
Yeah, it's really cool because he has like a little bit of a diary of
Uh-huh.
like um, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002. Like he has like this ongoing diary of everything that involves JLA Avengers and why it didn't move forward and what he was hoping for. So, but we were finally blessed with the JLA Avengers story by Kurt Busiek and penciled and inked by George Perez. And I'm very fortunate because I own 2 pages of it. And of course, both pages feature Captain America. Um, but yeah, it's an amazing crossover. I have an idea, Bob.
Yeah.
How about this?
Okay.
I know we were going to cover Wonder Woman, Captain America,
Yeah.
the 8 page story, and we're going to do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a short story. We
It
have a little
is.
extra time afterwards.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun if you and I talk about our favorite Captain America crossover stories.
Oh, Captain America crossover stories. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's not a lot of them. So
No, well,
narrows it down considerably. So yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
Well, stories that have Cap in it. I mean,
Okay.
he was
Yeah.
in the Avengers, so
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's good. All right.
All right.
That's fair.
All right. Should we get to today's story?
Let's do it.
All right.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't clone you, but it can streamline your hiring workflow. From posting jobs to shortlisting candidates to interviewing, LinkedIn Hiring Pro is the hiring partner you need, so you can focus on connecting with the right talent. In fact, small businesses report saving over 6 hours per week. So hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
So there was a Marvel DC one-shot crossover that came out, and then a DC Marvel one-shot that came out. And the Marvel DC one came out first, which was Deadpool Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the headliner story. And it was written by Zeb Wells with art by Greg Capullo. And yeah, it's a fun story. It's a fun
It
story.
is. It's actually a really great story.
Yeah.
It's quite amusing. So
Yeah, fighting the Joker.
yeah.
And so on. But there were a bunch of other stories that were in this particular one. Some of them are kind of silly. Some of them are, more serious. But there's a Jeff and Crypto story, which is kind of silly, written by Kelly Thompson. But then there's like a Daredevil Green Arrow story written by Kevin Smith and art by Adam Kubert. There's a Rocket Raccoon and Green Lantern story. And then get this, Bob, there's an Old Man Logan and Batman the Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. And a couple other things. So, but to me, I think the fact that Captain America Wonder Woman gets top billing,
Sure.
for all of these other stories after Deadpool Batman.
Yeah. I will point out, though, silly as it may be, the Jeff and Crypto backup story, the art is by Guri Hiru. And I don't know if you're familiar with their work, but I think it's two sisters, Japanese. And they are perhaps best, they do a lot of manga stuff, but they're well known for the Superman versus the KKK graphic novel. Came out, I don't know, 15 years ago. Amazing graphic novel. But they also did a one-shot Captain America story that they illustrated that is among my favorites. So a cool, they've got a cool thing going and a really cool style.
Oh, interesting. I'll check that out. And I do notice the lettering in every one of these stories. Joe Caramagna,
our friend.
Yeah, he was on the show. What? Gosh, it's been a couple of years since we've had him on.
It
the
has,
show.
yeah. It had been around 170 or something.
It was actually 191.
Oh, all right.
Good, close. It was close.
Yeah,
you were in the same ballpark, same year. So yeah, if you want to check out, if you're ever curious about what a letterer does in their process, Joe Caramagna, he was very forthcoming. He was
educational.
Great chat. Yeah. And he's also a writer too. But check that out, episode 191. All right, let's leap over to Captain America and Wonder Woman. So
is that a reference to my shirt, Rick? Leap over. Nicely done.
Be proud of that.
Like the way you connect the dots, it's just amazing.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Felt like you just needed to sit in that one. There is a very cool alternate variant cover for this Deadpool Batman, and it has Captain America and Wonder Woman on it by Terry Dodson. Do you want to take people through that cover?
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet cover, Rick, and it definitely highlights our favorite character, Captain America. But he is looking pretty good, standing there right next to Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. So it is, the cover is sort of a orangish, a very sort of subdued pastel orange, and we've got Cap in a fighting stance with his right fist ready to punch and his shield hand, his left hand, holding that shield as a defensive block. And then right next to him, equally ready to throw down, is Wonder Woman. And she's got that lasso of truth ready to go. And they are looking to square off against whoever is coming at them. And right behind them is a kind of a circle of light. So it's white, but it looks like like a circle behind them. And then all around that circle are all of these stars of different sizes. And there's a bunch of smoke at their feet. So it's pretty cool. And, Dodson's well known for his facial expressions. And here we've got determination and grit apparent on both Cap and Wonder Woman's faces. So it's a beautiful cover.
Yeah, I agree. And I, looking at it, just reminds me of how I missed out on the original art. So Terry has a website, terrydodsonart.com, and you can go on there and sign up for his newsletter. And he sent an email out saying that he was going to be putting up these pages and that particular cover up for sale. And I didn't read it in time, and all of the art's gone, including this beautiful cover. And I'm kicking myself. I know the guy who got it,
but he got it for steal too, didn't he?
I think it was a fair price for a modern cover.
Yeah.
I mean, but regardless, I think it was worth every penny.
Yeah. Well, no, for sure. But yeah.
So the creators for this 8-page story, the writer is Chip Zdarsky, and so Chip is a current writer on Captain America, and he has been a guest on the show. We had him on back when he was writing Avengers Twilight. So we had him on, that was episode 182. And then when Captain America #1 came out, we had him on the show, episode 247. Great guy, fun guy, and quite frankly, I feel like he really gets Steve Rogers. Mm-hmm. And so very excited to see that he was the writer on this. Terry Dodson is the penciler and the colorist. And by the way, next episode, we're going to have Terry on the show.
Wow.
Yeah, so we can't wait to have Terry come on the show, and we'll talk to him about this story and a couple of other things, including the recent Ultimate Endgame, which features a pretty gruesome scene with Captain America. So can't wait to have him on the show next week. And then it's inked by his wife, Rachel Dodson. I can't wait to ask Terry what it's like working with his wife. We talked about the letterer Joe Caramani. He's been on the show, and edited by Michelle Marchese, Danny Kazem, and Will Moss.
Mm.
All right. The title to this story is, Bob?
The Gun and the Sword.
As I mentioned, there's 8 pages. And of these 8 pages, there are 4 of them that take place during World War II, and 2 pages at the end that take place in current time. And then the other 2 pages are flashback. So everything's a flashback. And we hear Steve Rogers telling this story as a flashback. And we open up the first page of the story, and we see Wonder Woman. And she has a sword in her left hand, a shield in her right hand. And it takes place during the final days of World War II. And she is got her traditional Wonder Woman costume, but with also the skirt, with the blue skirt with the white stars on it. She's got her boots, her magic bracelets, her tiara, and of course her magic lasso. And she is fighting the German soldiers. And you see a whole bunch of destruction in the background. You see a tank that has smoke rising from it. You see treads that are dismantled. And she's just going through these soldiers, and she's using the sword to cut their machine guns in half and just leaving bodies in her wake. I've heard the stories. Everyone had heard the stories. A god had come to stop the war. No surer sign that we were on the right side, the side of divine justice. I'd hoped to see you out in the fields and forests of Europe at some point. I suppose I felt the same way about you that others probably felt about me. I was looking to be inspired by you, because months turned to years, and the war was long and dark, and inspiration was nowhere to be found. And so Wonder Woman walks up to a bunker that had its doors blasted open. And as she walks in, she has a look of surprise on her face. My superiors told me you were coming. The Amazon who turned the tides in the Solomon Islands. The Wonder Woman. They said you're not a soldier. You're a warrior. And we see Captain America, shield in his right hand, looks like a 45 Magnum in his left hand.
Yeah, I almost had it there. 45 Colt.
45 Colt.
Yeah.
And he's got his mask down. There are German soldiers laying on the floor. And in the bunker, we see the red Nazi flags with the white swastika in the middle, with the white circle and the black swastika around it. And kneeling in front of Captain America with a gun pointed at his head, but he's got his hands covered over his face. It's Adolf Hitler. And he says, Bitte nicht, which translates into, please don't. They said you're not a soldier. You're a warrior. A warrior for peace. And she puts her sword and she sheaths it. For justice. And then we see Adolf with his hands up, pleading Ich gebe auf, which translates to, I give up. My German isn't very strong, but it sounds like he's surrendering. Millions dead. Friends, people I love. All because of him. And he lowers the gun at Adolf's head. It still hurts my heart that was our first time meeting. You seeing me at my lowest. Hitler's death didn't end the war right away. There were still his generals, his minions. One of them killed my best friend and plunged me into icy dark water. And we turn the page, and what do we see, Bob?
It's that classic scene from Avengers 4, Rick, where the Avengers have recovered Cap's frozen body from the North Sea and thaw him out on board the submarine. But in this case, not only do we see Thor and the Wasp and Iron Man, but we see Superman and we see Wonder Woman leaning over Steve Rogers.
And then I went to sleep and woke up to a world of heroes with you as our beacon, still the same, unchanged by time. Do you remember what you told me when I asked why you still walked man's world so long after the war? We're all one world, one universe, one fight. And that fight never ends. But it ends for all of us, gods or not. We fought together and lost people together. And these next two panels, we see some really classic scenes from Marvel and DC Comics.
Mm-hmm.
One is the Marvel and DC heroes fighting Galactus. So not only is the Fantastic Four, but we also see Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and Starfire fighting Galactus. And then the bottom panel is the classic scene from Crisis on Infinite Earths where Supergirl dies and Superman is cradling her broken body in his hands. And in the background, we see Wonder Woman and Dr. Light from DC, but we also see Cap and Hulk and Storm and Spider-Man. And Captain America is consoling Wonder Woman. So many people. Then we go back to that original scene in the bunker. And Steve is still pointing the gun at Hitler. He doesn't deserve the gift of life. No, he does not. One bullet. That be all it takes. You're right. 9. And she grabs her magic lasso and she tosses it onto his shoulder. But you be an executioner. He's harmed the world. Let the world have the satisfaction of determining his fate. You carry a sword. What else is that for except for killing? One bullet. I've heard the stories of you as well, of Captain America. I saw those stories flicker across a screen in man's world, and I was moved to stay, to join this fight. The stories, those newsreels, showed a man of honor in a world bereft of it, who stands for justice. Do you truly wish to kill this man? And with the magic lasso of truth touching Steve, of course he can't lie. And he looks at her. I do. Then one final question. Is this right? Is this justice? And we see a close-up of Steve clenching his teeth. Then we cut to a flashback, fast forward in the future, and we see 3 scenes here. Sometimes we'd find ourselves on the other side of the question, like when you almost killed Maxwell Lord. But we'd always figure it out. Captain America and Wonder Woman. Symbols, even when we didn't want the burden. And in this scene, Bob, not sure if you were reading
Oh, yeah.
DC at that time, where Maxwell Lord turned out to be a mastermind villain
Right.
who had the ability to make suggestions, and people would, kind of fall under his spell.
Right.
And Wonder Woman snapped his neck and killed him.
Yeah.
And, because he was going to turn Superman into a crazed, fighting machine. But as you could see here, she didn't, because Cap was reminding her.
Right. And it mirrors that action as well, because in that original Infinite Crisis comic, it was Superman who did try to kill Wonder Woman, who was under the spell. And he had Superman's neck was injured by the lasso of truth, and where he was bleeding. And Cap, obviously, we can tell that he has gone through a similar sort of ordeal, trying to kill Wonder Woman, and he's grasping his neck, just as Kal-El grasped his. So it's a really cool throwback to that story.
Yeah, it's a nice mix mash. Just like this next panel. There were moments when it seemed like the world didn't share our vision of what was right, like with the Superhuman Registration Act. But you never wavered. You were my constant. Love this panel.
Yeah.
Because, from Civil War, was it issue 2?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think
or issue
so.
1, I can't remember. Where Cap leaps out of the shield helicarrier and commandeers on top of a jet and kind of rides it like a surfboard.
Right. Yeah.
But in this case, he's riding the invisible jet powered by Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
As a
So
surfboard.
cool. Very cool.
And then the third and final panel, we see almost like a JLA satellite headquarters, overlooking the Earth. And there's Wonder Woman and an aged Bruce Wayne Batman sitting on a couch, toasting, it looks like a lemonade. And Steve's there, and sitting on his lap is a female Robin. Now, when I first saw this, I thought maybe it was the Batman Robin from Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Because he's older and she's a female, but it turns out that's not the case.
Right.
This is Wonder Robin.
Right. Trinity.
Who is the daughter of Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool character, and relatively new character as well, created by Tom King. But I think she's going places.
Our lives intertwined, felt like fate. No matter what the universe has tried to do to keep us apart, we found each other. We made each other better. Cut back to the bunker, and we see the two of them standing there, and Cap looks at Hitler and toss his gun. It's not justice. Let the world end this monster together. Others will want to do what you almost did. I can take him with me to Themyscira, guard him until his trial, and Nein! And Hitler goes after the toss gun, crawls towards it, grabs it, and says, Blut und Unra, which translates into blood and honor. And he puts the gun up to his chin. Sieg Heil! And that's all we see of Hitler. Cut to the next page. And I like this juxtaposition because we don't see Hitler pull the trigger, but on this next panel on the next page, we see a fire being shot and it hitting Steve Rogers point blank in the chest where he drops the shield.
Yeah, that's very, very cool.
And we see in the background this monster made up of various Marvel and DC galactic type of entities, right? Like there's a Thanos, there's a Darkseid, there's a who's the middle guy there?
I can't tell, to be honest with you.
But they're gigantic, and
yeah,
and it seems like they're on a moon right now or whatever. And Steve goes falling into the crater, and Wonder Woman, who's wearing her golden armor, turns and runs towards him, shouting out, "Steve!" And now we're here, on the edge of everything, seeing infinite universes, all struggling for survival. I'm dying. And the only thing that's making me sad is seeing all the universes where we never meet. I'll get you help. You can be saved. You already saved me from the moment we met. And he's holding the lasso, so you know he's telling the truth. And we've been saving each other ever since. You put down the gun, and I put down the sword. The infinite-verse is crumbling, Diana. You have to defend it. And the monster destroying it. He needs to be brought to. And he passes. And Diana finishes the sentence. Justice. And then we're treated to over a half-page splash of her picking up the shield and leading the troops. And we see different versions of Hulk and Batman and Black Cat and Human Torch and Green Lantern and Captain Marvel and Superboy and Iron Man all behind her as she uses the shield and the lasso and she flies off to fight for justice. The end.
Wow. That was an amazing story, Rick. In 8 pages.
I know, right? Yeah. Chip and Terry could tell a good story, right?
Yeah, they can. Man, just a combination of writing, but just the art in almost every page has a close up or some perspective of Wonder Woman or Steve Rogers' face that just conveys all of the motion, all of the emotion.
Yeah. I really, I know the first time I read his story, I got a little choked up.
Yeah. Second time too.
You were there?
Yeah. I'm always there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much to like about this story, right? I mean, there's the element of where Steve and Diana are always there for each other. And they seem just to be like a natural pairing, both to be symbols but both want to be inspired and have been inspired by each other.
Right.
And by doing that, they've kept inspiring each other moving forward throughout their relationship together. So there's that element, which I enjoy the story. I mean, the storytelling itself, it's you could have told a Wonder Woman Cap story in a lot of different ways, but I can't think of one better than this one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. I mean, the relationship that has been painted in these 8 pages seems natural. And it's interesting, right? Because we often think about DC and Marvel. We think, oh, who's the corollary of Cap, right? Oh, it's Superman, right? They share so many similarities, outlook, or who do we want to see Cap go up against? Batman, right? Because they got fighting styles and all that. But the pairing of Wonder Woman and Cap like just jumps off the page here as like, why haven't we seen this before? Right? It seems like a natural fit.
And I can't wait to talk to Terry about this, because I got to imagine it was a lot of fun drawing these classic scenes from Marvel and DC, stories over the decades,
Yeah.
but adding his own kind of touch to it and kind of mishmashing them together with Marvel and DC characters. I mean, that had to be a lot of fun, right?
Right. Yeah. It's so many of these scenes are, as you said, are classic, but they're switched up in such a way. Like, what if Cap had been there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And that's really cool to think about. Or what if Wonder Woman had been there in the case of the helicarrier and the invisible jet? So, yeah, that had to have been super fun to do that. And man, and the art is just so gorgeous. Wonder Woman's gorgeous here, Rick.
Yeah. All right, I go first.
You do, yeah.
On favorite panel. This could be tough. I had a hard time picking a favorite panel here, but I'm going to go with page 3, first panel, with Cap coming out of the ice and the Avengers are there and Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I just love how Terry drew Wonder Woman. Like, that look on her face, like, okay, everything's going to be okay. Cap's here, and like she just looks so pleased, but determined. I mean,
yeah, there's a look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything's okay with the world, like this is going to be good. We're going to kick some butt.
Yeah. Yeah. It does have that look on her face. It's just it's a very compelling look there that he's rendered.
And of course, anytime you get Cap coming out of the ice, that's a classic scene. So that just makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I gotta tell you, I'm going with the 2 panels below it, Rick, and that is, as you said, the cover from Crisis of Infinite Earths #7 with Superman cradling the dead body of Supergirl, and as you pointed out, in the back we have Wonder Woman, and she's got her hands up to her mouth. She's shocked that Supergirl's passed, and Cap has his hands on her arm, comforting her, consoling her. And I think this is an amazing mashup of just a classic cover. But again, like, what if Cap had been there?
No, it's a good one. And I can't tell, is Hulk crying or laughing?
I think he's howling in grief. Yeah.
That is okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Well, what's going on your t-shirt?
Well, it's 2 pages later, Rick. It's that center panel. I got to have Cap surfing the invisible jet. Mine. Yeah.
You stole mine. That was my t-shirt.
Was it real? Oh, that would be and I was just telling, my wife tonight that we're doing this show, and I'm like, gosh, I wish I had a Wonder Woman, t-shirt. I don't have any Wonder Woman t-shirt, but I could have the best of both worlds with this t-shirt.
I know, right?
Right.
I mean, I wanted to have both in there together walking around on my t-shirt, but now I can't do that because you stole it. All right, how about this? I'm going to make a little switcheroo here.
All right.
I'm going to say that Cap coming out of the ice, I'm putting that on a t-shirt.
All right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I think that people look at that going, something's not right with your t-shirt. Because they don't know the story, maybe.
Yeah.
And they see, the Avengers with Wonder Woman and Superman. So I think I'm going to put down a t-shirt. So I'm making my favorite panel.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with page 2, first panel, where you've got the first appearance of Cap in this story, and he's holding a gun over Adolf Hitler. Because I'm sorry, how can Hitler on his knees crying for mercy not get a nod here as a favorite?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think really, a cool thing about this is like, we don't like to see a lot of Cap comics with Cap holding a gun, right?
No.
That's not his
Right.
thing. And yeah, we've had these conversations before about World War II, different story, trained soldier and all that sort of stuff. But it stands out here, right? It stands out that like he wanted to use it, but he didn't really want to use it. He knew it wasn't the right thing to do. So it nicely bridges, I think, those two, disparate arguments. A Cap soldier with a gun, but we know Cap's a superhero. He doesn't want to use the gun.
Exactly.
Yeah. Beautiful. And what about your time capsule, Rick?
For my time capsule, I am going to go with Wonder Robin.
Yeah.
Because
all right.
Relatively new character and first time with Cap.
Yeah.
You know?
I was going to use that.
Well,
I was going to use that. So
great minds
think
alike, right?
Yeah. And I love it. I mean, I think it's like I wasn't that familiar with the character, so I had to do a little digging and research as well. And I think she's a cool character.
I'm sorry, you did what?
Yeah, I did a little research. I know. And very cool character. And her story thus far has jumped around quite a bit from her young age, a young age, 6 years old to, an adult. But there was a recent comic that just came out, Trinity #1. I think it was in April. And it looks really cool, actually. I think this is going to be a great character. And to see this character who might really take off, first appearance with Cap, I think that's a cool it's a cool mashup.
Well, actually, it's a first appearance period because Trinity #1 came out months after this issue.
No, but Wonder Robin has appeared earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did my research. All right.
Yeah, Tom King, created her, and but she's been seen both as an adult and as a little girl. So,
okay.
Yeah. So anyway, but very cool character, I think. Fun.
What's going in your time capsule?
Well, I think it has to, if I'm not mistaken, isn't this the first team up between Wonder Woman and Cap?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we're about to get into our favorite Cap team ups. So
we are
cross publisher team ups. All right. Well, then, we're done with this story. Let's get into that.
All right.
Bob, since I went first with favorite panel, I'm going to let you go first with favorite Captain America cross publisher team ups.
All right. Well, this isn't going to come as a surprise to anyone because I've mentioned this before, and I'm not going to go with, the one we've covered on the show already, because that I don't want to do that. So
hey, whoa. don't be pulling that crap.
I'm sorry.
Don't be doing the, hey Rick, I know you're gonna say this.
I didn't know that.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna besmirch you.
All right. Consider yourself unbesmirched. You're resmirched.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what, Bob? You can go take a leap.
Awesome. I love it. So I'm going with the DC versus Marvel Comics 4-issue miniseries that came out. Yeah, 1995-96 time frame. Right. Yeah, I love that. And I posted about it recently in the Facebook group because it's got some just stunning art. And I think the story is really fascinating, right? Because it's about these two brothers that each represent the DC and the Marvel universe, and basically they pick their champions, and things get a little out of hand. And then there's a whole new character called Access, and there was some crossover series led by that character. But it has some great fights between Batman and Captain America, #1, which is compelling with great art by Dan Jurgens. But also a lot of the fights were not all of them, because there were like 11 here between different champions, but I think it was like 5 of them were up to like comic readers to vote on at their local comic store to see who would prevail, which is the only way that Batman was going to beat Captain America, by the way. Right. So, I mean, I think that's obvious.
Well, I think it was just it was a slate thing, right? Because like somebody got knocked off balance when there was some water,
right? The sewers and and then the other cool thing about this series was that it led to the Amalgam universe. and we
Mhm.
had a lot of great. In fact, it was the Amalgam Universe was featured in this 4-issue miniseries,
Mhm.
and then we had a lot of one shots that came out of that series as well. So just a lot of fun stuff, and I just really enjoyed the story.
Mhm.
And the art was just top notch. So for me, this is probably my favorite crossover.
Okay. All right. Very nice. I don't disagree, other than the fact that Cap lost to Batman. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't have picked that one. So I'm gonna go with the same year,
Uh-huh.
1996, with the John Byrne one shot,
Mm.
Batman and Captain America. Yes, yes, we did cover it. In fact,
That was like 2 years ago too, wasn't it? 2.5 years ago. How long ago was that?
I'm afraid your timetable is slightly off, Bob. It
Is
was
it?
5 years ago, March of 21.
Have we been doing this for 5 years, Rick?
Yeah. Yeah, we did it way back in episode 16, Bob.
Oh my gosh. I keep thinking we're like, it's just been 2 years. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how many episodes. We've only been doing this for 2 years.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well,
Oh
it's a
my
sliding
gosh.
time scale.
It is.
Anyway, so yes, we did that all the way back in episode 16. If you
Okay.
want to see that panel by
Yeah.
panel, and hear us act that out, but it was it was a fun story because you had it was a period piece. Took place at Gotham City. It took place in the battlefields, in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Joker. You had the Red Skull. You had Robin. You had Bucky. You had Easy Company. You had the Howling Commanders. Commandos. You
Yeah.
had, so many different cool things. And then John Byrne art.
Yeah.
It was
John
it
Byrne,
was
everything.
yeah. It was still I think he was still at the top of his game doing that artwork, and so it was a really cool story. It was fun. Um, I still love and talk about Batman versus Captain America. Of course, they have to have that little fight in the beginning,
Sure. Yeah.
but at that point,
Yeah.
they were like, okay, I could see this style and this style and this style and this style, and neither of us are going to win.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And so let's just not fight.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
The only way to win, Rick, is not to play the game.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's also how you can never win
Yeah.
if you don't play the game.
Right. And also I had that great, pair up between the Red Skull and the Joker, right?
Yeah. Especially when the Joker, he realized he was a Nazi.
Yeah.
And he was like, I might be a crazy lunatic, but I'm an American crazy lunatic.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Bob, what's next on your list?
Oh my gosh. Well, I can't think of any others, Rick.
God, someone really did their research.
Well, I did, but I picked out some of my favorite crossovers, but they don't necessarily have Captain America in them. So
I'm sorry, what's the title of this show? This podcast?
I know. I know. I just
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I didn't think there were that many crossovers that had a prominent role for Captain America. I know that the current Spider-Man Superman book has a great splash page that features Captain America along with Wonder Woman. But
no, but I mean, he's played a role. I mean, like we were just talking about the George Perez JLA Avengers, which came out in 2003.
Yeah, which we've discussed.
Yeah, I mean, he has a prominent role in there, and Cap and Batman they briefly face off, but again, quickly recognize that each other's
sure, yeah,
respected their each other's skills and just didn't do that. But that was an overall just amazing story. There was the Prime Captain America one shot. They also came out in '96. This was from the Ultraverse character Prime.
Ooh,
do you remember him?
No, I don't recall this issue. Tell me more.
So an Ultraverse, well, it was by Malibu, and Malibu came out with their own series of superheroes
and rum, if I recall.
Yeah, that's right. So Ultraverse was like Malibu's version of, I'm sorry, Ultra Force was the Ultraverse version of the Avengers.
Okay.
So basically, it was a lot of different characters, and they came together and they formed Ultra Force, and it was co-created by George Perez.
Okay.
And so in '95, I think it was '94, Marvel bought Malibu. And so you had the rights to all the characters.
All right.
But Malibu was still its own distinct universe, Ultraverse. And then they had this Avengers Ultra Force crossover, like it did 2 1-shots. And I think it was called Black September or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
And Loki and then the Cosmic Elder Grandmaster did like this. They had this like an Infinity Gem.
Yeah.
And they had like a contest of champions where Ultraverse and Avengers had to fight each other. So Cap was leading the Avengers at that time. And then there was a 1-shot, which was Prime and Captain America. Now, Prime, do you know anything about that character?
I don't know.
So think of like Shazam. It was like a young boy who becomes like a superhero. And Prime is basically like the Superman of the Ultraverse, but he's a young boy. And so it was done by art by Norm Breyfogle, who was a Batman artist. Detective Comics, I think. Anyway, so there's a 1-shot for you to check out. It's a Prime Captain America from 1996.
Yeah, I was completely unfamiliar with that book. So thanks for pointing that out. That I'm going to check that out tonight, actually.
You probably were going to go down a path when you were talking about the amalgam universe. Did you want to bring up the Captain America amalgam?
The Super Soldier?
Yeah.
Super Soldier's a great, cool character, right? The amalgam between Superman and Captain America. So, and I think if I'm not mistaken, were there two?
They did a sequel. There were 2
1-shots. Yeah, 2 1-shots. Right. Yeah. So very cool concept character. All the amalgam characters were pretty cool mashup. Batman Wolverine mashup, and Dark Claw. Yeah.
And there was a couple of others. There was again that 95, 96, 97. And this is why Joe Quesada made that comment.
Yeah.
In 97, there was a Marvel Wildstorm crossover, and it was called World War III. It was like a 4-issue crossover event where all of the Marvel universe merged with the Wildstorm universe. And then Captain America and the Avengers fought along Wildstorm team, which was like Wildcats, Cyberforce, to stop this Skrull Damonite alliance. So that was a miniseries. And then I'll give you another one, Bob.
All right. Writing these down, buddy.
2007, Marvel and IDW did a crossover, New Avengers, Transformers.
Oh my gosh.
It was a 4-issue miniseries published with Marvel and IDW, and where the Autobots and Decepticons come on Earth, and Optimus Prime and the Autobots, they team up with the New Avengers to stop Megatron, who has built like some sort of like device to siphon mutant energy in Latveria. And then Captain America is featured prominently as the tactical anchor for Earth's heroes. And it heavily features panels of Steve Rogers fighting side by side with Optimus Prime.
Wow. Now I got to tell you, I'm not a big Transformers guy, but you've sold me. So
yeah. Well, it is more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've exhausted the crossovers that include Captain America.
Yeah, we did.
But feel free to send me an email, Bob, with all these other crossovers.
I love them.
Cap in them.
I love that. I was gonna go on and on about the Spider-Man and Batman one from '95.
Or Daredevil Batman.
Mateus. That was awesome. When the Joker accuses Carnage of being like David Hasselhoff, it's going to be a good book.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I'll be sure to check that out.
The David Hasselhoff of crime.
Yeah, Bob, listen, man, we got to come back next week, because we're going to talk to Terry Dodson, right?
Yeah.
After covering this 8-page story with him. And then also, I don't know if you've been reading Ultimate Endgame.
I have. Trying to catch up.
Yeah. Well, issue 4 wasn't so good for Captain America. we got to talk to Terry about that.
Yeah. Surely a mistake. Yeah. Good. All right. Well, that sounds good. Next week sounds exciting, Rick.
All right. We'll come back for that. For everybody, we appreciate you listening. He's Bob Lucius. I'm Rick Verbanis. And thank you for listening to another episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Hi, this is Zoe Deutsch.
And Nick Robinson. Our brand new movie, Voicemails for Isabel, is all about those little moments that feel like the universe is looking out.
Feeling homesick, then your sister calls.
Hearing that perfect song exactly when you need it. Sometimes life rigs things in our favor, like learning about your new favorite rom-com, Voicemails for Isabel. Now playing only on Netflix.
Hey guys, finding the perfect gift for the food lover in your life is easy, thanks to Goldbelly. Goldbelly ships America's most iconic foods, straight from world-famous restaurants right to your door. So if you want to treat someone to Joe's Stone Crab from Miami, Franklin Barbecue from Texas, or desserts from famous foodies like Ina Garten or Martha Stewart, Goldbelly has you covered. Just go to goldbelly.com and for a limited time, get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's promo code GIFT.